Hello everybody, my name is the Insane Bardock. I'm insane, so you don't have to be. And I am joined here with...
What's up, guys? This is the Dragon Fist. How you guys doing?
how you doing, Dragon?
I'm doing fine. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
Great, that's great.
What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be doing a analysis on one of my favorite characters. And you guys pretty much know who he is. My favorite character is Bardock. Bardock from Dragon Ball Z. It's understandable because it's actually in my name. So we're gonna be doing a full analysis on him. So whenever you're ready, Dragon.
Okay. So to begin this analysis, basically Bardock is a character that we never. I mean, he's featured in movies, but he's never really featured in the manga, save for a single panel during the Frieza saga. But that was just mostly filler or something like that.
Yeah.
Frieza realizes that Goku somehow looks familiar to him, and then all of a sudden he has a flashback to when Bardock is facing him or something like that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the actual anime itself, we didn't really see Bardock until the Father of Goku special.
Yeah.
So and that was that special was really a I wouldn't say it was a character study, but I would say that that we really got to know the character of Bardock, like where he came from. We got to know a little bit more about the Saiyan planet, like a little bit more about their culture.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. And let me just say, anybody who has the ability to go up against that many guys against numerous odds, you could pretty much tell that he was kind of a badass.
True, very true.
Yeah, because even though he was against overwhelming odds, he still managed to make Frieza fear him. That's why he tried to destroy the entire Saiyan race, is because he was afraid of the Saiyans, specifically Bardock. And
it's just a huge testament to. Okay, I don't really know how familiar you guys are with the Rocky Balboa series of movies, or some other.
Oh yeah,
I've
seen a few of the Rocky movies. I like the one where he was fighting Mr. T, because it actually did seem like it would be a really good fight.
Yeah, exactly. But the Rocky films basically like if you look at the first one, Rocky starts out as a very weak, he starts out as a weakling basically, and then as the movie progresses, he basically as the film progresses, he basically he makes a name for himself, and he becomes. And by the end, he's the champion, or technically in the first one he loses. But
you see, that's the great thing about him, because no matter how many times he got knocked down, he gets right back up. And that's the same thing with Bardock. He didn't really give up. When he fought Dodoria, he didn't fight Dodoria. He actually got his ass blown away by Dodoria.
Yeah, true.
But even so, it still didn't kill him, and he was still on his crusade to basically take down Frieza.
Yeah, and although granted, it's funny because this whole talk about Dragon Ball has actually got me interested in something. How exactly did you get into Dragon Ball?
Oh, the way I got into Dragon Ball Z. I was very young, and I basically at that age, I started off like any kid would have, because I was bored. I was just bored out of my mind, so I needed something to watch. And then I saw Dragon Ball Z. I can't remember which episode I saw. The one I remember vividly when I was a kid was the one I saw when basically Goku was fighting Vegeta for the first time.
Right.
And I still remember when Vegeta went into his Ozaru form. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, the Great Ape.
Yeah,
right?
the Ozaru form, and then he basically like pummeled Goku. But Goku, well, for being the main character, they wouldn't kill off the main character. They wouldn't kill off the main character right away. But even after that, like, it showed how resilient he was as a character. Like, yeah, he was battered and broken, but he and Vegeta managed in a draw. And considering that his power level was over 9,000, yeah, go ahead, internet, say that meme. but still, Vegeta would probably be, what, 18,000 at that time?
Well, in the games he's listed as 18,000, but I don't. What is obvious though is that if it hadn't been for Goku's Kaioken ability, he wouldn't have been able to keep up at all.
Oh yeah, and also the whole spirit bomb thing. They thought he would have killed it. People thought that the spirit bomb would have killed Vegeta, but as we know, the spirit bomb only destroys that which is bad, which is evil. So it goes to show you that Vegeta was not all evil. He was just he had some good inside of him.
Although it's funny that you mentioned the spirit bomb and Vegeta, because the way I got into it into Dragon Ball was actually, it was kind of by accident, because my cousin Chris was really he was really into the series, and he would always run home from school to watch it on Saturday mornings when it came on Toonami, and at that time I was, and I still kind of am, a bookworm. So as a result, I was basically too busy with school to care about it. Basically, but I finally got introduced to it when I was in I want to say I was in my freshman year of high school, and Chris invited me over to his house one weekend during Christmas break, and he sat me down in front of the television, and he showed me some of the manga by Akira Toriyama, and the fact that a series that's how old is Dragon Ball now?
I'd say about maybe 20 years.
I mean, the fact that a 20-year-old manga series from Japan still has an impact on lives today.
Yeah.
On lives today is just amazing.
Oh, and can I say something about a theory that I thought about?
Sure, go ahead, man.
I think, you know how in like the Saiyan saga where Krillin was about to kill Vegeta?
Right. Yeah.
I think Goku actually was able to see into the future. Maybe because of his training with King Kai, or even the fact that that some of the powers that Bardock had, like when he had the ability to see into the future, was passed over to Goku, which is very asinine, because, well, in order to have these abilities, you had to be born with them, and Bardock attained them after Goku was born. But not the point. The point is that I think that Goku was able to see into the future and see that well, maybe not in the future, but my point is I'm trying to say is that, like, if Vegeta had died, everybody would have died. And the reason I say that is because if Krillin had killed Vegeta, then they would have to go to when they went to Namek, they basically they would have been slaughtered. They would have been slaughtered by either Zarbon, Dodoria, or even Frieza, for that matter. And even the Ginyu, and also he would have no need to, well, I just want to say that Frieza would have killed them, and without Gohan, then no one would ever be able to face up against I had this whole thing thought out. Basically, if Vegeta died that day, then nobody would have stalled Frieza for Goku to get there.
For Goku to arrive and everything. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I've got kind of a theory of my own on, well, I mean, just this last week, a few friends of mine were throwing Dragon Ball theories around, and we came up with this one that was really interesting. And I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of, well, what if okay, I just lost it, but it'll come to me. It'll come to me eventually. But
okay, I think I know what I wanted to say. Is that basically if Vegeta had died, then basically Krillin and Gohan would die before Goku would even get there, and basically there would be no Trunks. So and Bulma would never meet Trunks. Bulma would never meet Vegeta, so there'd be no Trunks. So there wouldn't be anybody out there who would give Goku the medicine he needed for his heart. So basically, he would have died, and basically the whole series would have been done for in like basically the Cell Saga.
I mean, not even the Cell Saga. Like, imagine if like we mentioned earlier, that Goku wouldn't have been given the time that he needed to arrive, and I kind of agree with you on that point, but I mean it's not a long stretch to think that, okay, let's say that even without the stalling, Goku still arrives on Namek. And at that point, because of the 10 times gravity training he had, he would have been more than powerful enough to defeat all the Ginyus.
Well, you see, that's what I'm saying. That like basically, Gohan and Krillin would not even be a challenge, and so Frieza wouldn't even have to send the Ginyu Force. And like, let's say he would, like, let's say that Frieza would. He basically, they would prove, basically Gohan and Krillin by themselves would prove no match.
Exactly.
No match for
exactly. I mean, they might be able to knock out a few of their. I mean, they might be able to kill Goldo. I mean, Goldo is the weakest member of the Force, but.
Oh yeah.
But against the likes of Recoome, Booter, Jace,
but let me just say.
I mean, they wouldn't. Let me just say. Stood a chance.
Let me just say, Goldo would not have been defeated if not for Vegeta, because Vegeta.
What makes you say that?
Well, you see, I think that Goldo needs to have eye contact with his foes before he can do the time stop, and so basically, like for Vegeta, he would have snuck right behind Goldo and just decapitated him. At least I think that's what they did in the actual show.
I think. I mean, I know it was a decapitation, but I don't really remember exactly how it happened. But yeah, we kind of got off track there, but it was worth it.
Yeah. Anyway, we're talking about Bardock.
Yeah. So but basically, Bardock is a character that we've only seen in specials, such as Bardock, the father of Goku, and the episode of Bardock special that was done. I want to say in it was 2000 something. I think it was 2009.
I think it was probably like a little earlier than that. Maybe like 2007, I think. Or maybe even earlier than that. I don't know.
But what makes Bardock so interesting as a character, though, is he's kind of similar to Goku in that while being a Saiyan and
of course he's similar to Goku. He's his fucking father. Sorry. He was his father. Like go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, while being I mean, while being similar to Goku, he doesn't really develop the traits that Goku has, unless you count Dragon Ball Minus. But basically, I mean, when we first see Bardock in the movie, he and his team are annihilating an entire race in the Great Ape forms, and right off the bat, you can tell that Bardock is he's a serious character. Yeah, he's a really serious guy. Serious. Now, granted, the entire Saiyan race was actually working for Frieza at that point, but the funny thing though is that Bardock is the only one who sees Frieza's dark side in a way.
Yeah.
In a way.
I mean, Vegeta does. King Vegeta does, but he doesn't see it like Bardock does.
True.
Like he still he's afraid of him, but Bardock, he's not afraid. After Frieza had his whole team annihilated, he basically didn't give a shit anymore.
Oh, by the way, I wanted to say something about the headband that he wears. Can you remind me what teammate it was that he got the headband from? I don't really remember the guy's name.
I think it's Toma. And let me just say, the headband is the most trademark thing of Bardock, and it's the most trademark of my OC too, because I have the same band. I have the same headband.
Nice.
Yeah, it's but like, instead of it being from a teammate, it's actually soaked in the blood of my enemies.
Exactly, and the thing though is, when Bardock takes the headband from Toma, and he says, "Okay, if Frieza's afraid of us, I'm gonna give him something to be afraid of." That's a sign. That's basically him saying, "Okay, pardon my language, but this is basically him saying that you killed my friends, shit is about to go down, and you're gonna die."
Or he's gonna rain hot vengeance on every single one of them.
Exactly, and that's and the headband itself symbolizes that. I mean, if you think about it, the blood that's on the headband is actually, I want to say Tomo's blood, but I'm not really sure.
I think it is. I think it's basically, the blood is a symbolism. Like, it drenched, because physically speaking, that much blood is not able to soak. Like, that much blood that Bardock wiped away from Toma, that would not have soaked the entire headband. So I think it's more of like a symbolism. Like, it's basically kind of like a blood oath that he made for his teammates.
Makes sense. Yeah, but so what do you think of InsaneBardock? What do you think of Bardock? InsaneBardock.
You could just call me insane.
Oh, okay.
or Bardock, which one ever you prefer. But yeah, I still I always think, I think I've mentioned this before, but I think Bardock is a complete badass. Because even after the father of Goku, he has another episode. He has another special, the episode of Bardock. And let me just say, he is completely badass in that last one. He owns Lord Chilled. And when he turns Super Saiyan, oh, all hell broke loose.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing though was, I've only seen the episode of Bardock once or twice. I mean, I've seen the Father of Goku special multiple times because I freaking love
it. Basically, you do know the concept of that. Basically, the episode of Bardock came through, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
He went back in time
somehow.
Yeah, he went back in time on the sole purpose of the explosion. And I'm not really a physicist, so I don't really know how that works. Hell, I don't think even physicists know how that works.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, but I mean, I do know that Bardock goes Super Saiyan, and basically, he basically whoops Frieza's ancestor.
Yeah, and the one thing that makes it more, the one thing that makes him more OP in that is because nobody ever knew what a Super Saiyan was. Like, basically, in Planet Plant, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
They're like the ancestors of the Saiyan race. So like, they don't even know what a Super Saiyan is. Like, there was never a legend. So, and also, like, everybody thinks that, like, in terms of the show, that like Broly was the first, like, Broly or Goku was the first Super Saiyan. But no, actually Bardock is, because he went back in time, like, unintentionally, mind you, but he went back in time and became Super Saiyan. And the reason why is because he thought he was not, because he was wondering why he wasn't strong enough to protect those around him. And not just the people from Planet Plant, but also his teammates as well. And it sent him over the edge.
Exactly, and I mean, if you think about it, the teammates' deaths. I really like how the episode of Bardock film pays kind of pays a homage to people who watch the Father of Goku special because it's right before Bardock goes Super Saiyan, and he's basically on the ground, and he's basically yelling at himself. He's like, why can't I get stronger? And he's having all these flashbacks of his friends, dead bodies and everything. And it's such a powerful image.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And like several Dragon Ball video games have actually included Super Saiyan Bardock as a playable character. Although I have yet to play any of them, but I do know of their existence.
Ultimate Tenkaichi does. Like, they don't show him as an actual character, but you actually do get to go Super Saiyan with Bardock's hairstyle.
Yeah, exactly, and it's kind of funny actually, because the main concept of Bardock as a whole, at least from my perspective, like, the main reason why I wanted to do this video was because, well, one, of your name, and two, and because you also said that he was your favorite character, so I thought, well, what the heck, we could do it together. But the other reason why was because I have a series of rants on my channels, and on my channel, and me and my friend Jules actually did a few character analyses, but we were planning on doing a Bardock one. But by the time we got around to doing it, I'd already graduated from high school, so we haven't been able to meet up to do it. But in brainstorming ideas on for the rants themselves, I decided one day, hey, why don't we do a Bardock one? And we basically just kept talking about how BA he was, and like every single moment that he's in, like every special he's in, the Father of Goku and episode of Bardock. I don't really know if he's gonna appear in Super or not, but
I'm not exactly sure either.
But although that would be really cool if he did.
I would love to see that, because
exactly,
like I said, Bardock is my favorite character.
Yeah, exactly, and basically he owns every single scene that he's in.
Oh yeah.
Especially the end of the Father of Goku special. I mean, just think about it, and I'm not sure if this is an accurate translation or not, but according to the Dragon Ball Wikipedia website, Bardock's power level was rumored to be around 10,000, and that rivaled King Vegeta's, who was supposedly the most powerful Saiyan on the planet at that time.
Well, it would make sense because Bardock, let me see. Like, basically there is a reason why Frieza feared basically Bardock the most. Like, you would think that he would fear he did fear the Saiyans in general. Okay, what? Like, you know that he would fear the Saiyans in general, but he specifically feared Bardock because he was so powerful, so unpredictable, and so out of control, out of Frieza's control, that when he had his... that he should have known that when he had his friend... that when Frieza had his friends killed, like, he would have known... he knows that Bardock would come after him.
Exactly, and the thing though is, at the end of the special, we see Bardock on Planet Vegeta, and he's basically okay. So earlier on in the special, he gets hit on the back of the head by the spirit, and the spirit gives him psychic powers, which allow him to see into the future, just in case any of you guys haven't seen it or just want to know what it's about. And through these flashes, he's able to see he's not only able to see Planet Vegeta's eventual demise and the Saiyan races as a whole, but he's also able to see his son Kakaroto or Goku.
Kakaroto?
Standing.
Kakaroto?
Kakaroto.
Kakaroto. I think that's.
My bad.
I think that's maybe the Japanese like pronunciation of how to say it. But I've always.
Oh, my bad.
It was always Kakarot to me.
Yeah. Well. I mean, I like saying it either way. So.
Yeah.
So Kakaroto. It doesn't really matter to me. But.
And there was.
Not only is he.
Yeah, and there was one theory. There was actually one theory that Shadow Fates. If you don't know who Shadow Fates is, he was actually in our other discussion. But he basically gave us a theory beforehand that Bardock and King Vegeta are actually that Goku and Vegeta are actually distant relatives.
Yeah, and that it was a really interesting theory that I'd never really thought of before, to be honest. Because who would have thought that long-term rivals, ever since the Z series began, well, at least in the anime, who would have thought that that the whole reason why they were rivals for so long was not only to compete in terms of power, but also because they were related in some way.
Yeah, and you gotta think about it. It actually does make a lot of sense. Oops.
How so?
Think about it. Like, in terms of them fusing into Vegito or Gogeta, their power level is immense, and they are not so easily torn apart. Like, you would think that if Vegeta hated Goku so much, that their bond in terms of the fusion would not be able to wouldn't
be nearly as strong as it was.
Would not be nearly as strong as it was. And actually, that's what Elder Kai said. Like, basically, because they fight so much, because they're the best rivals ever, that's the reason why their fusion is so strong. But
exactly, and that's also. Oh, sorry, I cut you off.
I was just gonna say that, basically the reason, that's also another, the reason that they're distant relatives is another reason why their fusion was so strong, because they had the bond, even though they didn't know it.
And also there was another thing I wanted to say, and that's, well, if you think about it, the term, the main reason why, the main reason why Frieza, the main reason why Vegeta mentions, I think at some point in the English dub, he mentions Goku's father being a brilliant scientist or something like that, which is a mistranslation.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he actually did say that. Basically, he mentioned that Bardock was the one who invented the fake moon. He was the one.
Yeah.
and like I had to actually go back and like pay attention to it, because when I was younger, I didn't really pay attention at all. I just liked the fact that it was so very violent, and
yeah, so violent and colorful.
yeah, but still, like basically, Goku's father Bardock was the one who created the blood waves.
Yeah, on the artificial moon.
Yeah,
and it's really fascinating because in the Buu saga, and I get this from people all the time, the Buu saga is the most immature saga in the series, or something like that, or some variation of it.
Mm-hmm.
And but while Goku is fighting Kid Buu as a Super Saiyan 3, Vegeta is actually thinking to himself, okay, I understand why Kakarot is so much stronger than me now.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that no matter how strong I get, no matter how much I excel, I'm never going to be able to surpass him. And in the episode, he openly admits that Goku is number one.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole reason why, and I think now if you look at Vegeta as a character throughout the whole series, throughout the entire series, if you look very closely, he never thanks anybody.
Oh yeah. Oh, and also we just passed our time limit. So, but we can keep going if you want to.
Oh, okay, but I mean, if you think about it, throughout the entire series, he never thanks anybody or shows respect to anybody else. At least in some, well, with the exception of the Kai version of the Cell Saga, but
Mm-hmm.
but in the original run, he never shows respect to anybody except to Goku in that one moment, and maybe to Trunks, when he was Majin Vegeta, but that was when his heart was more open.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that just shows their not so much commitment necessarily, but that just shows how much how much respect Vegeta has for Goku as not only a warrior but also a fellow Saiyan in arms, or
Oh yeah.
or a brother in arms.
But like he actually does show a little bit of it, and and also in terms of like Trunks.
Yeah.
You know how basically Vegeta is always like, have you ever seen the TFS version?
Oh yeah.
Like how basically Vegeta always rips on Trunks.
Yeah.
The reason why I think I know why the reason he does that. Like in the actual show, he actually does do that, but I think the reason why he does that is because he doesn't believe Trunks that he is actually his son.
And that's completely understandable because at that point in the series, you know, he had no respect for anybody.
Yeah.
For anybody, like he only thought of himself, and a lot of other stuff was going down too. And he was also very arrogant because he'd just become a Super Saiyan. But
yeah, mainly the reason why he did that is because I think because he didn't believe that Trunks was his son. I think he was just like, what he thought was, I think he was just pulling his leg. Like he just didn't believe Trunks at all.
That makes sense. And the point I'm trying to make here when it comes to Bardock having similar traits to his son is the fact that obviously Bardock is Goku's father.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all know that.
Oh yeah, we all know that.
But the main reason why Bardock is so similar to Goku, well when Goku finally grows up and he has respect and everything, is the fact that in the episode of Bardock Special, while Bardock is real. I mean, there's this kid who keeps coming back to Bardock with food and stuff, and Bardock keeps shrugging the kid off, but he takes the food and just eats it eventually.
I love in the TFS version of that episode, like he's like, I don't want your bread or your food, but leave the basket. But like, Master, leave the basket. And then the kid runs off and he's like, I swear to God, I'm gonna eat his entire race.
I know. But that's another thing too. I don't really believe that I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't really believe that the episode of Bardock has ever been officially dubbed by Funimation or anybody, has it? Or
I'm not exactly sure. I would have to look that up, but right now I'm too lazy.
but yeah, I mean, he kind of goes through a character arc, in both the specials he's in. I mean, his team is killed in the first special, and through their deaths, he learns. He basically learns that the guy he's taking orders from isn't as nice or whatever as he would like to believe. Mm-hmm. Although granted, I don't really think Bardock trusted Frieza from the beginning.
Oh yeah, he never. But he never trusted Frieza.
But then you move on to the episode of Bardock special, and Bardock as a character develops a general care for the people around him. I mean, just look at his interactions with the people of that village.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in the beginning, Bardock is like, I don't want to say smug, but
well, he's not exactly smug. He's just very angry. He's just like, I don't know. I think he's just like, he basically is like tired of taking orders from Frieza, so he wants to rebel. Like he's a rebel. He's a rebel.
Yeah, and I mean, but I want to go back to Bardock's power level for a second, because here's something that really intrigues me. The fact that that Frieza would fear a soldier who had, I mean, what was Frieza's power level in his first form? Like 40 something? Like
what? Like I don't really know. I think it was like let's see. I think it could have been like 500,000.
I think so, but the fact that Frieza, who was supposedly the most powerful being in the universe at that time, like no one could challenge him. The fact that he would fear, the fact that he would fear a soldier who had such a weak battle power, just goes to show you what.
How much of a badass he is, how much of a badass, and as well as like a very powerful, like a very powerful leader he could be. Like
exactly.
Like if he wanted to, like if the Saiyans weren't so afraid of Frieza, like he would have told, like. Basically, I think King Vegeta would still be afraid of Frieza, no doubt.
But, oh yeah, there's no doubt about that.
But like Bardock would be able to, like, if Bardock was as powerful as like Frieza thought he was, as powerful as Frieza thought he was, which he is. Like Bardock would have like challenged Vegeta and to take control of the Saiyans and rally the Saiyans against Frieza.
Exactly, and Bardock, he actually tries to rally the Saiyans. When he comes back from, I want to say it's Planet Meat, where he gets blasted by Dodoria, and the TFS version made a really hilarious scene out of that. But in the special, it's a lot more serious. So he comes back from the planet. And basically, he tries to persuade the Saiyans who are in the banquet hall or wherever the scene takes place to join him in the rebellion, because Bardock had a vision, and Frieza was on his way to the planet, and if they didn't rally with him now, they were all going to die, and that's what inevitably ended up happening.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing though was that the fact that Bardock, even though no one stood with him, the fact that he still went and challenged Frieza when he knew he was not going to win, just goes to show how awesome he is.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I think we're going to end it on that. So like, is there anything that you want to say before I end this?
Well, I actually wanted to give you a chance to speak your mind about it.
Well, I mean, I've already said that, like, basically Bardock is the most awesome, is the most badass character there is in the Dragon Ball Z universe. Goku is, but like, he doesn't even touch Bardock. He doesn't even touch Bardock because, like I said, he took on Frieza by himself, knowing the fact that he would be under overwhelming odds. He still challenged Frieza, something that no other Saiyan has ever done. He was the first one to rebel against Frieza. He didn't win, but he still gave basically the Saiyans the courage to, like, fight back, or at least try to fight back if Frieza didn't blow up the planet. But it gave Frieza the fear. It still gave him the fear of the Saiyan race. If they fought against him, he would have basically been obliterated.
Yeah, and I really see your point there because, Team 4-Star made a kind of funny scene, but in the you mentioned King Vegeta, and Team 4-Star and the original special itself, they both have a scene where the Saiyan soldier comes in and he basically tells King Vegeta that Bardock is insisting that they all rally their troops, that they get ready for this huge battle, but Vegeta doesn't believe it. And that just goes to show you, I mean, taking into account the fact that Vegeta, well, I don't really want to call him Vegeta Jr., but the Prince was on Frieza's ship or somewhere else while the attack was happening, so I don't really know if he would have known about it. But if King Vegeta had been smart about it, he would have insisted that. He would have at least investigated it, but he just didn't. He didn't believe Bardock, and that basically led to their demise. Although, granted, King Vegeta did go after Frieza, but of course, King Vegeta was no match for him.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah.
But like I said, Bardock was the only Saiyan who actually stood up, who actually challenged Frieza. He put up a fight. Like, King Vegeta, he didn't really put up much of a fight. Like, he was trying to be diplomatic, and it's good for a king to be diplomatic. But in the times of like but in the face of a tyrannical leader, and you're like the leader of the Saiyan race, you need to show them that you can still put up a fight. But I think the whole thing is that, like, basically he got blindsided. He got blindsided by Frieza and the fear that instilled him. But Bardock was able to break the chains, was able to break the leash, and rebel against Frieza.
Yeah, and like if you it's interesting that you would compare those two because, well, in that way, because I don't really know how many of you guys have seen Dragon Ball Z Kai, but basically there's a scene in there where Vegeta is about to kill Dodoria, and Dodoria basically says, well, Frieza had a choice, either see what happened when Vegeta got older, or to wipe out the only race that would ever be powerful enough to oppose him. And I think that's what not only the Super Saiyan legend, but also the fact that for Saiyans, when basically when they come back from a near-death experience, they get stronger.
Oh yeah.
And basically and you've got to stop and think here. Think about this. What do you think would have happened if, let's say, how many Saiyans would you say were on planet Vegeta at that time? Like maybe 1 million or something like that?
I'd say more. I'd say a little more than that. I'd say like maybe like 2-3 million.
I mean, taking those numbers into account, now Frieza, of course, had hundreds of thousands of troops at his disposal, but Bardock, as we see, is able to blow through them like they're nothing.
Oh yeah.
And I have no doubt in my mind that that the other Saiyans would have no problem taking them out too. Although, granted, maybe the lower class warriors like Raditz or Nappa, if they joined in, would have some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
But although it depends on how strong the soldiers were. But
I think the range of it was like maybe like close to like maybe a few thousand. Like for an average soldier, it'd be like maybe like 5,000.
Yeah, and the funny thing though is that if you think about it, like if the entire Saiyan population came up, okay, so when King Vegeta died, let's say that the Saiyan planet heard about it, and they basically decided, oh, Frieza killed our leader, well, we're gonna rebel and kill him for what he's done. I mean, I would have thought. I would think that was what they would do.
Mm-hmm.
Although granted, the prince wasn't on the planet at the time, so maybe that's why. But either way, if the entire planet's population had gone with Bardock, regardless of how they were persuaded to do so, I have a feeling that maybe they would have been able to get past Frieza's soldiers, but I don't really think that the outcome would have been any different.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe a few more of them would survive. Like maybe a few, like maybe they would all surround Frieza's ship, and Frieza's death ball, as we all know, was sent towards Bardock's side, towards the planet.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that half of the population dies while the other half lives on and finds another place to live. Although granted, there's no telling whether or not Frieza would have just killed them too.
Yeah.
But it's just really interesting to think about, you know?
Oh yeah. But like the whole planet was destroyed. So like maybe if like half of the population was able to like basically go with Bardock, like the outcome would have been different. But still, like you said, some of them could have gotten away.
Yeah, and the funny thing though is, well, have you played any of Budokai Tenkaichi 3 by any chance?
I have played Budokai Tenkaichi 1, a little bit of 2, and I played Ultimate Tenkaichi.
Well, that game basically Budokai Tenkaichi 3. There's a what if saga like in the other games, but there's a level in which the Saiyans basically go to face Frieza, but instead of King Vegeta being killed, he rallies his forces and they all go to fight.
Mm-hmm.
And in the battle, now granted this is a video game, so it's a what if scenario, but in the battle itself, you control Bardock, the female character that was on his team in the Bardock, the Father of Goku special.
I think her name is Celiba.
Yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's Bardock, Celiba, Tetepo, Hambukin, and Toma.
Oh, okay. But basically, so you basically control 5 characters: Bardock, Celiba, King Vegeta, Prince Vegeta, and I want to say you also control Turles. I don't really remember, but thing though is in basically the battle begins with you defeating Zarbon and Dodoria.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Ginyu force never shows up, but it's alluded that that Frieza sent word to the Ginyus and that they would be getting there soon. But the only thing though is that Bardock himself doesn't come in until maybe the very end of the fight against Frieza. But by that time, Frieza is all worn out because granted it's a game, so and the story interactions like the story places are influenced by whether or not the characters die. So let's say that, like now I did this once myself. I fought through the entire level only as Vegeta, Prince Vegeta, and I got up to Frieza, and Frieza just kicked my you know what. As Vegeta. The thing though is that if you last through the entire level with just Vegeta, the four others are still playable, but they just go back to back. You can't switch between them freely. But if all four of them get beaten, Bardock, even though Bardock was quote unquote defeated, as your character, he got beaten while you were playing as him.
Mm-hmm.
He comes back, and basically by that time, Frieza is basically worn out to the point where Bardock can take him out effortlessly. The thing though is, it takes his last bit of strength to do it, and he ends up dying, but Planet Vegeta is spared. So that was a really interesting scenario that I actually would like to see animated someday.
Basically, if people get word of it, then it will happen. And I think we are approaching about an hour in this, so is there anything else that you would like to say?
Yeah, not really. I've pretty much said all I want to say.
Yeah, and I think I've pretty much if I just go back and forth by saying Bardock is the most awesome and badass character there is, and basically he's just a rebel. So if I keep saying anything more about that, I think I just go around chasing my tail. But
yeah, basically.
Anyway, I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for watching, for listening to our discussion over Bardock, and not just Bardock, but like any other basic theories that we might have. So I really thank you guys for listening in. And again, my name is the InsaneBardock. I'm insane, so you don't have to be. And this is
the Dragon Fist 900. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yes.
See you next time.
Thank you guys for watching, and I would like to wish you all a very, very good day. Bye-bye. 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 Bye-bye.